Okay, gentlemen, you understand the rules you're fighting under. List them at all times. Keep yourself protected. If I say stop, you stop. If you want to touch, do it now. Let's do it.
Set for our main event between Thiago Maheta Santos and your boy, Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders, small underdog, plus 135 is in the blue. Thiago Santos, minus 165 as the favorite in black.
And what I'm curious about is the start of Eryk Anders. Will he start quickly? Thiago Santos generally gets it done, lands power shots in the first round.
Low kick from Santos. Anders leans in and tries to take control. These are some big boys in here.
With the hip.
Santos trying to get busy with the right hands. Anders will keep the clinch. Santos, his back to the fence.
Eryk Anders, very, very powerful, in close, extremely strong. Thiago Santos, his style requires a little bit of distance.
And perhaps that game plan on display for Eryk Anders.
Yeah, Eryk Anders trying not to give him that distance.
Keeping control of that left leg of Santos, and now looking to grab the back. And for all the talk about knockout power, Anders employing a different game plan.
Not that surprising.
At least to start.
Showing a lot of respect for the striking ability of Santos. And once again, you know, the range he needs in order to get it done.
And you mentioned the respect of Santos. Anders certainly has that. Actually picked Thiago Santos to beat Jimmy Manuwa in an interview when he was asked who would win that fight, if that was the light heavyweight clash. But as fate would have it, it's Anders who finds himself in Sao Paulo for his second UFC main event tonight. Body kick from Santos. And a high kick from Santos.
This is where he's so deadly at kicking range. You think you're out of harm's way, you are not. Eryk Anders has to keep his hands very, very high, be very aware.
Oh, big left from Santos, and Anders backs off.
That was Santos' criticism of Anders. He says he moves like a heavyweight. He's very, very plodding. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but Anders tends to move forward and backward, doesn't angle a whole lot.
You see that welt growing under the right eye of Eryk Anders from that left-hand shot. And Santos, once again, on top of the kicks. Anders certainly usually employing a more strategic, kind of not plotting, as you said, but he will look to inch in and find a big home for that left hand.
He's good at cutting off the octagon.
Said he learned in his setback against Lyoto Machida to be busier. Went the full 5 rounds. Some people saw it for Anders.
Yeah, very close fight.
Came out on the short end and said, you know, sometimes significant strikes, quote unquote, don't always feel like significant strikes, so he thought he was winning the fight. But he wanted to make sure that he was busier each time going forward.
You see the strategy here is trying to take some of the energy out of the explosive Santos. Make him work. You can't take him down and hold him down. Make him work. Make him have to get back up again. Make him carry your weight.
Left hand on the break from Anders with just over a minute to go. Left hand fired from Santos. A big one. Santos loading up on that one.
Not a lot of feelers, not a lot of setup, not a lot of jabs. He tends to lead with power shots.
You can see how much bigger each of these guys looks than from what we've seen him at middleweight. Anders, quick to point out, he is making a pit stop at light heavyweight tonight. Santos, maybe he's more looking forward to a career in the light heavyweight division.
I think a big factor might be who wins.
Yeah.
You know, how much success do you have at 205?
An intriguing matchup no matter where it happened. Final 20 seconds, first round of 5 possible in our main event.
Constantly angling, moving. Nice low kick below the knee.
Anders up high with the kick. Santos out of the way. Set to go for the second of 5 possible rounds. A touch of the gloves to get us going here in the second round. Body kick from Santos. That looked to land flush. And continuing to move forward, looking to put together a combination. Anders now countering and fires in and shoots for the hips.
He did not like what he was seeing in the center of the octagon. Didn't like that exchange at all. Went in for the takedown. Working the high crotch, but his hips are very, very high. He's get his hips underneath him, then he can finish.
Well, Anders now.
And this is not where Anders wants to be. Not known for his guard game. Not known for his slickness with his jiu-jitsu. He has to get up.
Santos entering the guard after a flurry of ground and pound, but Anders maybe looking to show off some jiu-jitsu as he'll stay on his back. You said didn't like what he saw in the center of the octagon, maybe didn't like what he felt in the center of the octagon. And the game plan changed. But Santos
has some wicked ground and pound. Anders might be trying to clear his head here, but he's playing a dangerous game on his back.
Oh, now looking to lock up the left arm.
Not gonna happen.
Not able to hold on to it. 90 seconds into the second round. And Santos back inside the full guard of Anders. Eryk Anders, 11 victories as a pro, 7 by knockout, just 1 by submission. But employing a ground game approach here in the second round. Santos busy on top.
Just bowls him back down to his back.
Left hand across the face for Thiago Santos. Now Anders trying to explode, eats a left as he comes back to his feet.
Great
and a
timing
knee from
on
Santos.
that knee.
And a big left from Santos. Anders countering, big shots. Anders wearing it well and still walking forward. This is more of what we expected.
Yeah, both guys having their moments on the feet. Santos swinging hard, but Anders answering back when he needs to. Every time you think it might be a fight-ending sequence, Anders comes back with that straight left hand.
Anders has never really needed to show off a chin. He has done so far tonight.
What do they say? It's better to go your whole career and have people wonder if you have a chin than to prove that you do have one.
Well, sometimes it's necessary. Under 2 minutes to go, second round. Also interesting to note how each of these fighters handles the extra 20 pounds on their frame. Body kick from Santos. And you can see the significant strikes in favor of the Brazilian thus far.
But Eryk Anders still putting the pressure on, still closing off the octagon. Always brings physical pressure. 185, 205, doesn't matter.
And many didn't expect this to be a point fight or a numbers game in terms of strikes. And just the
That
big
is
one
very
that matters. And now each looking for their moment. Santos loads up with a body kick. And another one countered by a combination up top from Anders. Stalking forward.
You see the ebb and flow of the fight. Looked like Santos was really doing well a couple minutes ago, and now it's Anders moving forward. And another great combination by Santos.
Anders on his bike, and look out. But he reverses position. Just in time, perhaps. Big elbow from Santos. An eye poke. And Anders kind of looks to Mark Goddard and
Away from the
gives
corner.
himself a timeout.
Stay where you are, all time.
So Anders, who had the welt under his right eye early at Santos, he has a welt under his right eye from some heavy strikes.
Look at it. Ignore them. Look at me. You can see. Good, good.
Another look.
Yeah, pinky went right into the eye.
Back underway. 20 seconds to work. Oh, big kick up top. Anders moving forward and perhaps looking for a late takedown in the round. And he gets it. On the back. Oh, and a big knee, look out.
Here's a ground and pound. Eryk Anders on his back, Santos all over him. And the scramble back to the feet, look at the timing on that knee. Beautiful shot to keep it legal, but Eryk Anders, every time he thinks Santos is unloading and might finish the fight, he answers back with a left hand, keeping into the fight. Got the late takedown, that knee to the chest.
Eryk Anders has shown the ability to survive the barrage of Thiago Santos. Nearly turning his back, he just kind of running away, but able to kind of withstand the pressure. And he lived to see a third round in his corner telling him this is where we want him. They believe they have the fresher fighter. Again, Anders has gone the 5 full rounds before. Thiago Santos, first main event for him.
But bear in mind that Santos had a full camp, Anders did not. A lot of X factors moving past the third round for both of these guys.
Down low for Santos, but Anders heavy shots up top. Looks to wrap the legs and score a takedown. And busy with the ground and pounds.
And both hooks in.
How about
Great
this?
position for Anders. Last thing you want is a strong guy like Anders on your back, both hooks in, as he can punch and go for that choke.
Each fighter with just one win by submission. It is not where they have made their living, but Anders looking to sneak that left under the chin.
Yeah, Santos able to turn and get his chin low just in time. Problem against the fence is it's hard for him to extend his hips and really get Santos extended. Extending the hips, that's what exposes the neck. Now trying to transition him out. Santos too quick for him.
And now Anders looking to scramble back to his feet. He does, but he's wearing a lot of pressure from Santos. Knee fire from Santos, and now Anders backing off one more time. Big kick up top from Santos. Look out. Saw him loading up with that spinning back elbow. Anders,
great left hand.
eating a big left from Santos. Anders firing a counter. Santos busy with the left.
Anders doing the smart thing here, trying to clinch, trying to keep this at close range, because at that medium range, he is getting killed.
Man, this crowd was sensing the moment there for Maheta. Anders showing the maturity of a fighter who has more than just 12 pro fights. Halfway through the third. Santos uses a knee to force the break, and they return to the center. Flying knee there from Santos. Not a lot of room to work, but Anders continuing to employ the takedown.
Now what can he do with it? Was able to sweep the legs out from under him, but can he establish a top position?
That the fourth takedown for Eryk Anders. And keep in mind, football background, not a wrestling background, but ever the mixed martial artist. You ask him where he wants the fight to be, he'll say anywhere. I work on it all equally. prepared to go wherever the fight goes, and he has wanted to take it to the mat more often than not.
Not quite getting the space to land really effective ground and pound right now. Looks to advance, but in great position to land the left hand.
Santos back to his feet. Anders looks to wrap him up once again. And that is a wide frame to try to corral on Thiago Santos. He'll switch to the single leg.
Oh, great head control.
Oh,
knocked out the
out on
mouthpiece.
Anders. Heavy elbows, but Anders will keep on ticking. Mark Goddard picks up the mouthpiece, and yet to stop the action. Oh, sneaks it right in. Santos firing knees.
Wow.
And we resume action with now 20 seconds to go in the third of 5 rounds.
And going to town with those short elbows. Now in an Iranian position, this is tough to finish from here.
Anders just crumbling and perhaps just trying to ride out the round. Busy ground and pound from Santos. There's the horn. We'll see the main event, 4th round.
And Eryk Anders looks like he is going to have a lot of trouble getting to his corner.
He needs to go all the way across the octagon to get back to his coaches.
Oh, this might be it.
Man.
This might be it.
So Mark Goddard wants the doctor. Anders, man, he cannot stand up, and Mark Goddard calls it off. Thiago Santos will win this one by TKO.
Well, he was having success on the feet from that middle range. Right here, very tough with the lefts. And the power kick to the body. Finding home for that left hand over and over again. Eryk Anders doing everything he can to answer back, to clinch, to stay in the fight. And it was this takedown position. Look at these short elbows, aim for the ear. That's the rule, that's what he's doing. Mark Goddard is all over it. And any of them in this position, we call an Iranian in wrestling, head in between the legs. And look at him targeting the ear, bang, bang, bang. And look at the slump.
One thing left to do, make the main event official. And for that, here's Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the 3rd round, we have your winner declared by TKO from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Thiago Marreta Santos.